office, and we got to see a lot of employees come in and see how the function is downstairs. And we kind of came up with a project on how we would like to have people come through and kind of create some more organization.
Okay, I love it already.
So first, I would like to start off with the core four. As we all know, the core four is to be safe, caring, dependable, and efficient. And of course, we use all of these values when we are working with customers and working with our passengers, but sometimes we don't use these values when we are working with our employees. And we want to be able to incorporate all four of these values with all of our employees. And we think with this project that we have officially done that for all four.
Okay. I'm gonna apologize in advance because we just had an aircraft damage. I may have to check my phone periodically. It's not normal.
That's fine. That's
Sorry.
So there is a problem with the check-in system at the business office. That the problem is there isn't one.
There isn't one, yeah.
So it results in people walking around, not knowing where they're going. They're confused. They don't know what forms they need, and they disrupt people that are trying to work and just to ask a simple question that could be answered very quickly.
Okay.
What is our solution? The solution is to install a kiosk. But the main problem is, where are we gonna get the kiosk? Well, there's many, like in concourse, not being used, because they usually wanna go to a physical person and ask them a question, instead of going to a device that's not gonna help them much. You can take one of those and program it, but none of us know how to program. So we need like one of the IT interns to help us.
You're IT intern?
Uh-huh.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, the kiosk will provide badging information and also which forms to take, whether it's fingerprint or new badging information. Like the badging, if you need to get a new badge, fingerprints get renew fingerprints. And it's also gonna frequently ask questions, because since we spend a lot of time, we also hear what the questions are.
Okay. Have you guys, can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
So, having kind of observed the office for a while, have you done any documenting or cataloging of what the issues are?
Yes.
Do you have any statistics on that?
So most of the time it is badging and fingerprinting questions.
Okay.
There are a few scheduling questions in between that, but usually the people that are looking for scheduling know who they have to go to.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
And then I think we got a few asking about ramp, and then we got another one about
Ramp scheduling or?
no, about where to go to ramp.
Oh.
Like
Okay.
where's the ramp office? And I was like, it's around the corner.
Oh, I see. I see.
And we got another one, I can't remember what it was, but it was like out of the blue. I was like,
How many days did you guys observe?
I think 3.
How many hours?
It's like 6 hours.
No, it was 12 hours, I think.
12 hours in 3 days, like 4 hours a day? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, so, okay.
Yeah, our first day we only worked 8 to 12.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. I'm just trying to get a sense for, you feel like you've got a pretty good understanding of what's going on in there. What's the most number of people you saw at one point in time?
And I think it was rare people, because they see that they were the best.
Yeah.
It was like 10.
10.
But they were like all in the same place.
So when you say red people, you mean the orange vests?
Yeah,
So those
yeah.
are our new hires,
Yeah.
And
or our
so
probationary.
they were all kind of like standing around like Giancarlo's office, and they were like asking
Yeah.
him questions,
Yeah.
and they were also talking to Jason, but there was like 10 of them in the
Right.
same place, and clearly they work outside, so they yell a lot, and it was very loud. But I was like, oh my, what is going on?
Is this your last line?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll let you keep going and then I'll ask some more questions.
Oh, and also, it's also gonna provide a video in the kiosk.
Yeah, all the videos that are like the training videos and everything, like how to do things. So like, there was talk about like how on the websites you can like, watch videos on how to do things. So we would like link those onto the kiosk because that's really important if they don't know how to do something.
Okay.
So why would a kiosk be useful to employees? It'll help everyone. For example, it'll minimize the distraction because those who are coming in, they usually either make a conversation, they're either shouting at the employees at the cubicles, and they don't. Those that are working there don't get their work done as much, and it'll also help those who are asking the questions do things on their own, so independentize themselves. And it'll add organization not just to those who are coming in, but those who are working inside the business office, and it'll direct traffic to where they need to go. If they need to go to scheduling, they go to this person. If they need information about their fingerprinting, they go to, Giancarlo. And if they need help with like work-related injuries, they go to Brittany. And if they need like their new badges, they go to Crystal.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Okay, great.
All
Thank you,
right.
guys. So, more questions. Is one kiosk enough?
I think so.
I think so too.
Because it'll, if you put signs of like, hey, stop here, check in first, because it'll help other people realize like, oh, I need to stop a moment before I go on. And it'll also direct like all the new employees that are coming in to know where they're supposed to go, because most like the other employees, the older employees, they know where they're going. But the newer employees, they don't know where they're going. So I think it'll also help direct new employees as well, because you're hiring like 500 new employees or something like that.
We like to call them more tenured employees versus older employees.
Speaking as those ourselves, right?
Speaking from a guy that his beard used to not be gray. I get it. Have you looked at other options besides a kiosk?
We also
Thought
give
about a
the-
secretary,
yeah.
like a receptionist or something, but that's not a whole lot of, like, you can't really do that with the space that we have. We could like take out the first cubicle and put like a desk there, but we would have to find a time for somebody to come in and then take out the cubicle, not during like where everybody's working.
Do you think both would be valuable?
I
Like
think-
have the kiosk and also have, I use the term gatekeeper. Secretary is maybe not exactly what the role is. I don't know, you can call the term whatever you want, but like we need to have a greeter in my mind. And the greeter can be one that says, hey, you can check in on our kiosk.
Yeah.
And while you're waiting, on our kiosk, we have, we have videos that may guide you to what your questions are. So have you thought about the design of the kiosk? Have you thought about how you guys wanna?
So when we were getting our badges, there was this kiosk there, and it was like really simple. It had like it was like very straight to the point. Which options do you need? And like then it was like really quick. It wasn't like super detailed or anything, but it was really straight to the point. And I think that's how we want ours. Like if you have this question, here's the answer. And it's like
So you've explored you've explored other places that have a kiosk or a check-in process. You could have put that in your presentation, by the way. Just one? Have you thought of any other places that have a kiosk?
So it
Or
was
visited any other places?
It was the badging. Also
Checking in upstairs in the lobby, they have kiosks there when you for passengers, not for
Outside of United, outside of the airport. Think about places you go.
It was when we went to get our fingerprints done. We had another kiosk there. It was very simple, very straight.
Think about other customer service
Lark
industries.
Burger. I just went to
Forget the
Lark
airport.
Burger.
I'm sorry?
I just went to Lark Burger, they have.
Lark Burger.
Oh, they do have
Well,
a lot of
a
restaurants
lot
too
of
now.
restaurants have like kiosks too. Like I walked into
Yeah.
a Taco Bell like really far from here. I think in Brighton or something. And it was like a huge kiosk. Like as soon as you walk in the door, you didn't you had to move
Go around it
to
to-
go get to a person.
Yeah,
So it was like really in your face. Order here.
Yeah.
no, that's good.
I went to the DMV too a few
Mhm.
weeks ago.
Mhm.
There's
Yes.
one that's right there in front of you.
Yeah.
Right when you walk in the door, it's like, okay, this is what you need to do. Then go sit down. And
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
there's that there as well.
So I'm gonna if I can, you guys bear with me, and tell me if I'm just lunatic, which I'm okay with. But, you know, I would advocate, and I don't even know how this would work, but I would advocate, you know, take a day, split up, get in your cars, or get on your bus, or go on the train, however you do it, and go take pictures of 10 different places that have kiosks or videos, and go experience them, and then bring that all back together, and let's do a presentation on all the different ideas that are out there that you've seen, and let's evaluate what we think is best for this environment. You know, I think about, you know, the Geek Squad at Best Buy. I think about an Apple store where you check in on an iPad, right? I think about, you know, a restaurant where they take your number and send you a text message. I mean, just think about all the different scenarios. Spend a day Googling, you know, what are different kiosk check-in processes that customer service businesses use, and then let's bring those back and talk about it. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I don't have a strong belief that using a kiosk and getting IT to program it is gonna be easy. Whereas I could go to the Apple store and buy 5 iPads tomorrow, and you guys can spend a week figuring out what the design of the iPad should be and how do we post it on the wall. So that may be cheaper.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to drive you,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Alita had recommended that maybe we don't need a kiosk, maybe we just need a few iPads that can just be there on stage.
I'm not trying to drive you to the answer, but what I'm just I'm presenting a different idea, and I think we need to not just think about what might be a good unit to use, but, you know, who's gonna maintain it, who's gonna program it, what if there are glitches? An iPad, you know, most of us these days are born with an iPad in our hand, right? I mean, I see a kiosk as a manager and I go, geez, I gotta call IT now to get it supported, right? If something goes wrong, whereas if it's an iPad, I'll just pick it up and figure it out. It's my 2 cents. I'm not saying that's the right answer. I'm just saying we need to think about those things, because you guys are gonna come up with this great idea, you're gonna implement it, and when you leave, I'm gonna be going, geez, now who's gonna be responsible for maintaining it? What if I need to put new videos on it? What if I need to add new links to it? What does that process look like? So we need to incorporate that into our business plan here.
Did you have any luck looking for off-the-shelf product too that we could adjust to our needs? Did they ever, were you ever able to find student check-in? I don't know. We should need to talk to Jason, because he has that information. He keeps telling me that's what it's called. That's the off-the-shelf product that Chicago adapted to themselves.
Okay.
But that might be something too. If you're looking at the iPads, what software is out there that we could purchase as a package and then adjust to our needs in some way?
Yeah. There's one, the one that we were looking at, this company wanted something like $70,000, and I almost threw up in my mouth. I mean, that's ridiculous, but there's gotta be a product out there that we can buy for like $1,000 that would be more than sufficient, right? The other thing that we need to think about is if we're gonna buy a product, because ultimately there's a value proposition here, we've gotta talk about what is the value proposition, right? It's hard to put a value on customer service, but we do wanna think about the business case of, if we're gonna spend $5,000 on iPads and software, where am I paying $5,000 back, right? Maybe there's a belief that for every 10 people that come into our office, one of them is costing us a half hour of overtime or something, just because they're not productive and they have to go back out and then they end up, I don't know. We'll figure out, start thinking about what would be the business case, maybe do some research online. How did other companies justify this check-in process, right? Do the research and figure out how do we justify it, because at the end of the day, I'm not immune to spending money on a good product, but I want a return for that, right? So I'm not gonna spend $70,000, you're gonna have a hard time quantifying $75,000 return, but 5,000 maybe. So in conclusion, you guys know Chris? Well, I hope so, because he's in the corner office downstairs where you guys are hanging out.
No, they came to our staff.
Chris is our manager of resource planning, so he's ultimately